What's up, guys? So today is Saturday, right? Yeah, today's Saturday. Today is the 25th of May. I wanted to do some late evening streaming to get a little bit of coding in. It looks like I'm gonna go from 8 to 9, and we're just gonna do 1 hour. So what are we gonna do exactly? I think what we'll do is we're gonna go ahead and implement the function that we brainstormed last time. I determined that running the if to check if there was another thread was slower than just calling with lock every time. Use this even on client side, since or because this is faster than checking for multiple treads. Okay, so now let's read this. Okay, so we have global lock. So we're going to be importing this function into the various files that are going to use it. And we take in 3 parameters into this lock function, which is a list, and then that's going to be the change attribute list, then method, and then data. The data is going to be what we're applying to the list, or removing in the case of if the method is R instead of A. Yeah, so that's really that simple. We're just doing this so that we don't have to just like every line that we modify the changed attribute list, we don't have to put this with lock line in. It's that simple. Instead of having this line, probably 100 times, we're just gonna use this function and call it like that. So below function created 5, 25, 24, and this is a list equals list currently only for changed attribute list. And then method. And this is going to be string type single character A or representing append or and then data is data to be added, removed to list, and then purpose of the function is going to be to it's to reduce line usage instead of adding the with lock code 100 plus times. We opted to use this function instead. Uses a lock to ensure no race condition issues associated with the thread shared object change attribute list. Okay, looks like I got a little better at typing now that I have somewhat of a setup back. So I'm not just like completely trash at typing. I still am like getting better. Anyway, let me go ahead and post this to my little small circle to see me working late on the weekend. This dude working on the weekend. You know, just trying to make it. Let's make sure alright, so that works, and yeah, let's back on out of here. There he is, the man himself. Damn, to be able to afford that car. Probably not. I think it's probably really rare and expensive now. Anyway, okay, so function finalize implement in place of all appends and remove. Also implement lock for when accessing to copy, etc. Function doesn't handle that. Okay, true. And that's where we stop. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's I'll put this in server. Well, no, we'll put this in things to do. This guy's gonna use thread. Alright, we took care of that. Option 1, yeah, we're gonna. And use lock every time changes. Make sure it's your. And then implement lock for when accessing to copy. Because the function doesn't handle that. True, true, true. Alright, so let's finish this. Alright, so let's just go ahead and import lockfunc to server. Go down here and say import lockfunc, or from lockfunc import lockfunc, and then we're going to find everywhere where we'll say changed attribute list. Let's just do attribute list because I don't want to pass over all this stuff. Receive data ID, receive change list equals receive data 1. Okay, so that's for receiving the data. That's fine, that's not what we want to change. Yeah, we don't want to change any of this. This is for the actual change attribute list that we're like to be sending. So right here though, I think might be, okay, yeah, this is it. This is where we wanna, so right here, okay, so we already have self.cal log, but instead, well, no, because we have to use the same lock, remember, so we would have to use this lock. So we need to import lock. So what line is this we're on? It's 319. And then let's go back to the top and we're gonna import lock as well. Now we'll go back to 314 and we will 319. So this is gonna say just with, we're not gonna have that other lock anymore. So let's go ahead and get rid of that, the CAL lock. And we did not actually, and let me make sure that, what, that's weird, low line created, it's like 522.24, the lock handled in various locations and on multiple threads to ensure proper handling of proper and safe handling of changed attribute list. Has to be the same lock, remember? Yeah, they always have to contend for the same lock. If it's a different lock, it's just it doesn't matter. And I just want to remind myself, remember that we always have to contend for the same lock. Can't be a different lock. Yeah, buddy. Oh, let's go over here. Okay. Where are we at, boys? Where are we at? Okay. So that's what happens. Food late, but you know, I'm actually more awake now than when I am, you know, in the mornings usually. It's a weird thing anyway. Alright, so let's, alright, we fixed this line with the lock. Thread, and then current line change attribute list equals C1. So this is the actual C1 attribute list. This is where we get the race condition vulnerability right there. But now since we're using with yeah, we also associate change attribute list equals C1. Couldn't we assign this way earlier instead of over and over every value? Actually, I don't think above is possible to do sooner because the received ID varies. Yeah, because like even though we don't actually receive from the other client, we don't receive in terms of the other client. We receive as like this would sometimes be C2, you know, as here. So really, I could just do with lock once, and I mean, I don't know. Does it? It doesn't matter. It's really no big deal. All right. Now let's move to the. So this is where we use our lock first. That's fine. Moving on. Moving on. Okay, so if the length, this is the copy. So at this point, we're not worried about that. That doesn't need to be handled. Need the lock. And current line generator list, yeah, we don't need it for that. Okay, now this is, we do need it here. With the lock, we're just going to associate generator list remove. Oops. Okay, so this one right here, we need to change to just be lock, and this removes from the associated change attribute list. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, this was like, wait, I just did this line? Was I confused? Okay, I was confused. I went up further. It was actually right here. Okay, so that's it. That's it for that file. All right, so now let's do Control Shift F, and we're gonna search for well, how do we word it in the function? Okay, change attribute list append current player. Okay, so we just do change attribute list append. So I think what I would just search for is just gonna be this, and this is gonna show me what I'm looking for. Well, I could just do dot change attribute list. That's like more accurate. So let's. Really it? That's really the only places where I explicitly call it data transfer function. Oh, see, we gotta look inside the data transfer function. Look, our implement inside of data transfer. What is data transfer function? Oh, that's one I made. Okay, I remember. Yeah, data transfer function. Alright, so let's do the explicit ones first. Well, why don't we? Okay, so we just didn't finish implementing the data transfer function. Did I just not finish doing that? Because that's like what should be used if I'm reading this correctly. from change attribute list. Okay, so this is from changed attribute list file, and we have the data transfer function, which takes the custom append list object, the game object, and the custom append list tuple. Okay, yeah, so we're definitely going to use this. Alright. Okay, we get rid of that. Okay, what is it called? It's called the data transfer function, and then we pass in the. Let's open that back up. Put this on the side. No? No? You fucking with me? Tell you what, VS Code's a little silly sometimes. It's great text editor, but it's a little silly. Okay. Takes in the custom append list object, which is going to be the current player change attribute list, isn't that right? And then the game object, which in this case is, I don't know, and then we're gonna pass in this tuple, the custom append list tuple. So there we go. We have the current player change attribute list, the game object, and then the tuple, which is the time, perf counter, ns, and then player when unconcealed and then true. Okay. Now, which game object? Okay, so where is game object? Okay, right here. And okay, so this one we would just pass game, I think. So we would just pass game, and that's gonna be this object up here. And then our tuple. All right, that looks good. We can leave this reference, but it's going to need to be a little bit longer now. There we go. Alright. Let's see. Alright, so we're still going through these change attribute lists. So this is going to be current player change attribute list because that's what it was before. Right? That's good. And then current player change attribute list append time perf counter ns player we're not going to pause. Okay, so this we're going to change. Actually, let me go back here real quick because I can get rid of this div now. Actually, I don't even need that reference. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do data transfer func, and we're gonna pass in the current player change attribute list as the player object. Game object is we could just do eval here. We could do eval. No, actually, well, yeah, we could. We could do we could put p plus current player dot id string, because that's got to be converted to a string, and then plus underscore game. So this would be p plus 1 or 2, like p1, and it would be string, and then it would be plus underscore game. So that would be p1 or p2 game, and I'm pretty sure that would work, right? Without us having to run that game assign function. Alright, now we have complete change attribute list append. Alright. Now let's do data transfer function. And same thing here. We're gonna do, oops, totally forgot to finish this. Let's see. Current player change attribute list append. So that's gonna be, we didn't even add the tuple, dude. Dude's tripping, trying to just jump ahead, eh? Can't just jump ahead like that, eh? Alright, so that's our tuple, and now we're going to add that in. So we have our player object, we have the game object, which is the eval of the string p plus string of current player ID, which is going to be 1 or 2, plus underscore game, so it's going to be p1 game or p2 game. And then we pass in the data, or the tuple, custom append list tuple, and there it is. It's supposed to be yellow. Okay, it is yellow. Alright, so we're good. We did delete the above line. Didn't mean that. Let's just make sure this was C's close that correctly. Alright, now this last one we need to add in transfer function. Same thing here, current attribute list. Game here is going to be assigned up here, so with game, then the tuple is going to be this little tuple. Now we can get rid of this, paste that in. Now we have the player object, the game object, and then the tuple. There we go. So let's go back to 1, 2, and then 3. Alright. Now let's do all the instances of data transfer function. So let's look up data transfer function. Oh, so this one, well, no. Alright, 6, and then 7. Okay, cool. So is there any more, let's see, dot, append, tuple, and then time dot. Why is that only finding 1? Oh, well, because we took care of all the rest. They're all data, whatchamacallit. Okay, so that takes care of those, but we also need to take care of them elsewhere. Alright, so let's think about this for a second. We would just do Control Shift F, and then we're going to be looking for append, and then tuple, and then time, or we'll just put append and then tuple. So any place where we're appending a tuple, which would be where appending to the change attribute list. Okay, so what's going on here? So this is for alright, so right here we would need to pass it to that function. So we're just going to implement data transfer function because it looks like we have not implemented that everywhere. Okay. So let's go up here and we're going to import data transfer function as well. Line was that? It's line 1. Okay, so let's go 91. And we're gonna pass in the C1 change attribute list. We're gonna pass in the game object, which in this case is gonna be so this one would be P1 game because it's associated with C1. So this is going to be P1 game, and I'm actually not 100% on this. Right. So should this be P1 game? Well, it's not in the time tuple, I don't think. Better game object time. Okay. So whenever we are appending to C1 change attribute list for the shared object, like I guess that we would update the time tuple associated with um, P1, right? If header name is in time tube, set header a game object. Because the time tube is checked before it is, after it is received. So if we receive I'm not sure about this. I'm just like really tired honestly right now. I can't think. I'm like super crashed. So I'm gonna put a little note here. Will this game object always be properly assigned? Or would sometimes it not correspond to the CL object number 1 or 2? And that's like a little bit confusing, but alright, so for now we'll just leave this as it is, but I'm not positive on that, so we can finish adding this in though. So we got C1 change attribute list. Then we have the P1 game, which may be subject to change, and then we have the purple ending to this tuple. Yeah, because we're appending. Yeah, so the purple is the tuple. Okay, so in this case the tuple contains a tuple, that's why it's doubled up like that. It confused me for a second, so we can get rid of that. We can get rid of this, and now we can add that tuple in there, which is, yeah, purple to purple, and then yellow is for the function closing. Okay. Through one at a time. Do data transfer function, and can pass in the same thing here. So we're just gonna be pretty much repeating ourselves here. Tuple, which is gonna be this entire thing right here, so purple to purple, and so we have the C1 change attribute list, the game object, and then the tuple. Alright. Same thing here. P1 game, and then we're gonna write this. Just copy this real quick. Bring bring that down here, and then add in this tuple here. Alright. Time for this game, target data. Okay, so we have the CAL object, the game object, and then the tuple, which is the tuple, which is the yeah, it contains the tuple itself. So that's proper. And we get rid of this right here. And that's the only place that occurs. I was making sure I didn't forget to delete it elsewhere. Yeah, because we don't want to double work it. That would be a bad bug. Right. So see when change attribute list. So yeah, that's what I added. Should be right. Okay. So what am I doing here? Alright, go back over here. Ink timestamp list append. Okay, so this is different. Alright, in here, this self.change attribute list append time.perf counter ns. This is for the custom append list. Self.change attribute list. I didn't know that the okay, yeah, if self-covered name. Okay, I see. Gotcha. Oh yeah, we need to this 125, and now let's go back up to the top, and we need to import this. So we're gonna do from here. We're gonna import the data transfer function. All right. Now we'll go back to 125, and let's paste that in. And the attribute list is going to be the self-change attribute list, and the game object is going to be this is custom append list. So this would depend on the this would depend on the ID, card group name. If self-card group name at index 1 is equal to 1 or 2, so we could just eval that. So we could do eval, and then yeah, so I think we're actually gonna go ahead and stop here because I'm feeling really sleepy. I think I'm gonna be able to sleep good tonight. This coding has like knocked me out. I skated really hard at the skate park, and my daughter's calling me, so I'm gonna talk to her. So we're gonna go ahead and shut it down in just a minute. So let's do our final 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. So self change attribute list append. All right, and the game object is I just think that pretty sure that the game object would be associated with like 1 or 2. Yeah, I mean, for modifying the yeah, definitely. I'm almost certain of that. So we'll put eval p plus what's it going to be? The self dot card group name at 1. Yeah, at 1. Oh, we might not even use this section at all. But anyway, this should do the trick. P plus 1. If it's P1, then it will be. If it's 2, then it'll be 2. We don't have to convert it to a string because it's already a string. And then it'll be plus P plus subcarrier name at 1 plus, and then underscore game. Okay, and then the actual tuple, which is this, which stops at the purple, and let's paste that in. So now we have the custom object, the val string p, and then at index 1 for p for 1 or 2. And then that's already a string, so it's going to be p1 or 2 plus underscore game, and it's going to use that object, the game object, and then we pass in the tuple. Good. So now we can get rid of this. Let's just make sure all the places where we 124, 125. That's where we, okay. That's good. We'll do this last one. Oh no, that one's already done. That one's doesn't need to be done, rather. Okay, and now we have C1 change it to this append. Alright, so let's do this. We'll do this last one and we'll call it quit. So this is in a different file, because unless I'm going to import the function, data transfer function. So we, no, we already have this one. What? Oh, it's right below it. So we can copy up until the point of the tuple. Can add the tuple in. This is going to be self-change attribute. Nope, actually, this one is going to be different. This one is going to be the C1 change attribute list. And then this one is going to be P1 game. So we just change this. P1 game. And then this will go to the purple. And the yellow, there we go. Right, so we have the change attribute list object, the game object, and then we have the custom pen list tuple. And looks like that's correct, so we can get rid of this. And get rid of that as well. Alright, so well, let's go we'll just do a couple more since we're getting her done. Data transfer function, and it's going to be self change attribute list. And then this one is going to be yeah, actually, I'm done. I'll put my note here. Yeah, so this is going to be 5:25:24 at 8:52 p.m. Stopped here. Alright, and this is going to be line 135 in custom append list. 135 in that. What was it? Shit. 135, yeah. Add line number 135 in CL. Oh yeah, we have to use 3 letters because that could be card. And we'll just put began replacing instances of instances of changed attribute list modifications with the lock function and then I'll put during this realized I hadn't finished implementing data transfer function. Again, finishing that first before continuing above, and then we stopped at 35 custom pen list, and now we're gonna stage, commit, and push our changes. So let's copy this since it is done. And now we are in the correct root project directory, as you can see. Now we're going to do git branch. We want to make sure we're in the root project directory so that everything gets added. We're on the correct branch, so we'll git add everything. We can ignore those LF warnings. Now we're going to do git commit -m and then paste in message. Now we can get rid of these quotations. Alright, there we go. So now that's our commit. So we have 8 files changed, 33 insertions, 42 deletions. Not a lot changed, but it is what it is. Git push Canasta, and then secondary. Canasta is the repo, and secondary is the branch. pushing to that remote repository, Canasta, on the secondary branch. It looks like everything worked. We're going to do our local backup. So let's go to programming, projects, go to the actual, copy it, and then we're going to go to the backup. We're going to delete that inner directory and paste in the updated version. Now we're going to enter inside of it and go to text and look at the devlog to make sure it is indeed reflecting today's work, which it is, since today's the 25th. And now we're gonna change the name to reflect the date it was last updated, which we really don't have to do that because the date modified, but you know, it's just like it's just good habit, I guess, just to make sure we did it. Alright guys, so that's